Hey, so this week I've been really thinking about the things that I'm afraid of. And one of the things that has been coming back to me a lot is how I'm afraid of being wrong. I'm afraid of being wrong. And it's mind-boggling because I know and I understand that I'm not perfect. So I know that I'm going to be making mistakes. But I have this itch to try to be accurate, to try to be specific. And I think that is birthed out of my desire to not be wrong on things. Because I think that being wrong on things can lead to some form of hurt and a level of misunderstanding, which I also am afraid of. I am afraid of being misunderstood. And I think the things that I'm afraid of are the things that I try to not do to others. I always want to try and understand people well. I always want to make sure that I'm getting exactly what it is that they're saying accurately, so that when I say to them, when it is that I'm repeating myself, I'm able to repeat myself accurately to capture what it is that they're saying and to make sure that I'm understanding everything, But I realized recently, well, not really recently, but over the last few months, I've been having some difficulties with some relationships, and I kept getting this riff, these moments when there's just some tension that I am not necessarily enjoying. It feels weird, and from my vantage point, I'm seeing it as I am taking the time to try to learn. I'm taking the time to get to understand. I'm taking the time to figure out, okay, what are you saying? All right, I understand what it is that you're saying. I'm trying my best to make sure that I am getting everything, And while I'm trying to ask questions, and I'm like, that don't make any sense to me, and I realize my aim or my desire to be accurate becomes an issue, and it creates this tension, like I'm not listening to them. That's something that I've heard a lot, even though I'm trying my best to listen, and it feels like a very uneasy place. And unfortunately, these type of moments happen with people that I really care about. It's happened with my wife on numerous occasions. It's happened with friends that I'm trying to build a friendship with at church, and friends that I've had for a long time. And it feels weird because it's the people that I've probably met in the last 5 to 8 years that I feel the most tension with, and that coincides with my time here in America. And I don't know what that means as yet. It's weird when you live in a foreign land. It feels like you are having to unlearn a lot of what you know, and you have to reshape your mind, and you have to orient yourself in a way that is foreign to you, and it feels like a fish out of water. And that's hard. That's difficult. It's really uneasy, and that has led me a lot of times to feeling either misunderstood or not being able to explain myself well to those around me. which has brought me back to here, where I'm afraid of being wrong. I think it's also where the climate that we're in right now, the moment you get something wrong, it's easy for you to get cancelled. It's easy for you to lose friends. It's easy for people to change around you. And I think that is something that has caused me to not be okay with getting things wrong. It feels like there's no room for error. If you don't say the right thing at the right time, in the right moment, it can have lasting effect on the people around you. If you didn't say you're sorry in the right way for the person to understand you, you run the risk of causing more hurt, causing more harm within the relationship. If you weren't able to articulate yourself in the best way without coming across, in an obnoxious way, or for the person to not understand your position, you run the risk of being framed in a way that might not be who you are, but is who you are presenting to them, or what they're receiving from you. And that's one of the things that I've come to learn since I've been in America. And it's one of the things that is so different, I feel, from living in Jamaica. I felt like I had more opportunities to fail and to be wrong, and that wasn't an issue. I didn't feel like being wrong, there was such tension around it that would cause my relationships to be stifled. I am the easygoing guy, and I feel like that's what I love. I love to be in that space. I love to be relaxed. I love to be, not taking myself too seriously. And that becomes very hard to do when you feel like you have to always be on top of things. You feel like you always have to, in a way, be right and accurate, so that you can avoid the unwanted tension that comes along with having relationships. And it could be that I am now becoming an adult, and this is adulthood. Life happens, and everyone is going through their own thing, and when it is that you're trying to bring or come into relationship with people at this time of life, it's difficult. If you don't have any history with them, it's going to be difficult to create that in a short period of time. I know it's where people want to surround themselves with people and things that are good for them, and they want to surround themselves with people who are not that different than who they are or where they want to be. So I know in America people are very mindful of political views, religious views. They're mindful of, do you care for the things that I care for? Or the things that I value, do you see them as wrong? And people feel less seen, and all of those things you have to think about when it is that you want to create good relationships. So as I think about being afraid of being wrong or getting things wrong, I am also recognizing that I'm afraid of being misunderstood. And for a long time now, I have been feeling misunderstood. I have been feeling in my relationships that people don't get me. And that's a very difficult place to be. It's a very difficult thing to do. It's not fun. It's not enjoyable. Because after a while, you feel like a pariah. You feel like you're the only one. And it feels like a lot of the times that you you have to do this by yourself. So I definitely am aware of what it is that is happening for me. But, hopefully I can find a way and see where I go from here.